Hi guys, welcome to Everything Websites again. And in this episode, we're gonna discuss. We're gonna challenge websites and see if websites make sense in every aspect of marketing. And my today's guest is someone that is expert in this other area, if I can say like that, of marketing. And she's a founder of Marketix.biz, marketing manager at Prepia, and a PhD candidate. And her name is Milica Balaban. Milica, welcome to the show.
Thank you, Stefan. Thank you for having me.
Problem. It's a pleasure having you here. To kick this things off, I wanna ask you a couple of things. Um, you have experience working with various different brands, where marketing performance depends on how clearly the story is told. And from your marketing strategist's point of view, how do you see the role of a website today? Is it just like another channel or something that is structurally different in your case?
As I was preparing for today's episode,
Mm-hmm.
I thought a lot about it.
Mm-hmm.
So, in my experience, I've worked with different kinds of products and startups, and for some of them, like the website was main channel, and it was
Mm-hmm.
really important, the most important channel that we owned. And for some other products, it was merely a channel, like
Mm-hmm.
not so important one. In my opinion, it definitely depends on product. For example,
Mm-hmm.
the last company I worked for, they had the main product. It was DeFi platform. And the main point where users joined was through our social media channels, and they went
Mm-hmm.
directly to the platform. It was for an experienced Web3 user. It was really clear what they can do there. And if they needed some other points, they went to our documentation, our posts, and they got informed
Mm-hmm.
there. We got landing page, but it wasn't really that important. I think most of our users didn't even visit the products page, so they they mostly didn't need it. But for some other cases, for example, for the startup I'm working at right now, the website is really important, especially for B2B side of things. If
Mm-hmm.
we are doing some partnerships, some collaborations, we need to inform people what are we doing. And like the best channel, the best own channel that we own
Mm-hmm.
is our website. So they
Mm-hmm.
go there, they see clear messaging, who we are, what are we doing, who we can help, and based on that, they can turn into collaboration, into users. So I would say it depends on product, because if it
Yeah.
can be so important, and for some other products, it's insignificant, really.
Okay. Um, I mean, I agree with you that it does make sense maybe for everybody. In my experience, it was usually for people that invest in like different, maybe more traditional parts of marketing. That website does not play a key role. But for example, in those cases, the previous example, the first example that you mentioned, I mean, did you guys had any knowledge of how these people are behaving on the website? I mean, did they just click on a link and don't look anything else? What was that like a just invite only thing, or how that worked?
No, no. When you land on a specific product, you typed in,
Mm-hmm.
or like however you can join a
Mm-hmm.
website. Yeah, they just scrolled. They just scrolled through everything, since a Web3 behavior or crypto behavior is really different to a regular user behavior. And they got informed mostly on Discord or on X or through a documentation. And they didn't really land on a web page. The traffic was really low compared to a number of users, compared to
Uh-huh.
number of impressions, the
Okay.
reach
Yeah.
we got all over our channels. So mainly the users didn't want to go to website. And
Mm-hmm.
the ones who got to website, They just scrolled and clicked, let's launch a
Mm,
platform.
on the link.
So yeah,
Okay. Yeah, that makes sense. In that case, they would just do the thing that was expected from them, and were not interested in anything else. And there was no goal on organic traffic or anything like that, like just direct one, right?
yeah. Well, in that particular case, the goal was for users to go on a platform and sign in and start doing the things they should do on platform. So the landing page wasn't really that important. It was a
Hmm.
additional step, but it wasn't really that important for them to go and see everything that was going on over there. And I say Web3 is a really specific industry and users are different to a regular
Hmm.
tech user. So that's a specific
Yeah.
thing.
Yeah. I mean, I know. I mean, we also did some campaigns, everything. I know that most of people really just click on links. I know from my experience, sometimes even if it's your target group, sometimes people want more knowledge, more proof, or not just proof, just to see more stuff because people don't really read; they just scan. And if something doesn't grab their attention, even if that is the target audience, sometimes they don't convert. So that's I was just curious of how these things work on your end. Nothing else. I'm not questioning your methods. um, okay, so how would then marketers traditionally categorize websites along like ads, social media, emails, and things like that?
It depends. And that's
Hmm.
that's marketing's favorite answer, but it really depends. As I said, it's one of few owned channels, so you have freedom to do pretty much anything you want, and if you do it right, you can definitely score some big time. And particularly, I am active on LinkedIn for the past 8-9 months at the time,
Hmm.
and I've seen a lot of small businesses, coaches, like
It's a lot of them.
trainers, yeah, a
Yeah.
lot of them,
Yeah.
and they all have like similar offers, like for
Hmm.
personal branding, for LinkedIn growth, for all kinds of stuff. Like yeah, there's like a lot. And
Hmm.
the thing I have seen that differentiates all of those trainers are if you try to convert from their LinkedIn page, they always have a call to action, like book a call or learn more or something like that. And if there's a good landing page behind it, and I see you as a coach, I like you, I like your posts, work, whatever, and convert to a clear landing page that really explains who are you, what are you doing, how are you doing it. If I see pretty much a clear pricing over there,
Hmm.
yeah, that answers a lot of my questions. I would really like to convert on that
Hmm.
coach compared to someone who is like book a call with me and you don't have any information on that.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
yeah, I'm guilty of that since I'm not doing coaching or anything like that full time. I just have a client
Mhm.
here and there, so I'm guilty of that. I don't have clear offer and anything, so that's bad, and don't learn from my example, but it would really differentiate. For
Yeah.
example, coach Yasmin, he has a great landing page and pretty much everyone is copying his. So, but it's a great example and I know why people are copying him. It's really clear. You get every single answer you want to and you can convert really easily over there. So there's a lot of people that can learn from it.
From my experience, I mean, it's similar approach to every single industry, and really, in for my clients and even our side of business, people always copy each other. So I mean, I don't know why they usually. I mean, they probably think like, oh, we do the same things, but you don't actually do the same thing. You probably most likely have completely different target audience, even if on a first thought looks same, but it's not. And yeah, I can say that it's good to look at your competitors to see their strong points, weak points, see maybe what they're missing or what kind of opportunity that can create for you, and use that to address it on your website. Something that they're missing. This is how on our side we usually do this competitive analysis, and how we um, leverage from that knowledge. But I mean, what do you overall think of that kind of copying your competitors without proper positioning? Uh, yourself,
Well, it's
not you, but
definitely not recommended. I mean,
yeah.
we can all see a lot of similar LinkedIn, I would say, profiles and then landing pages and posts and everything, but
Hmm.
we all know who originally started it. There are a few
Hmm.
creators that I really love and cherish over there. And like overall, as they gain popularity, people are starting to copy them. And
Hmm.
there's a creator, her name is Magali, and she's really amazing. She's branding strategist, and she
Hmm.
helps people land speaking opportunities, paid speaking opportunities.
Hmm. Hmm.
And I really love her posts. She's so raw and honest, and she was one of the first creators who spoke really openly, and she showed her personality, but in not in a fluffy kind of way, but her writing was really strong point.
Hmm.
And yeah, she has had strong differentiators in her branding and her her messaging. She's amazing, and I really love following her. But then, like, as she gained momentum in the past, I don't know, 6 months, I've seen a lot of new creators that are trying to impersonate her. And
Yeah.
that's not really, I mean, I'm not going to follow someone who's trying to be her. She's a great creator and she has a lot of knowledge and she has great personality, and that's why I followed her. But I'm not going to follow like three other impersonators. And the people who follow them are eventually going to find out about Magali, who's doing it a lot better.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
they're going to stop following people that are copying her. But that's the thing in branding and positioning. You need to
Hmm.
you need to get your own brand. And I don't mean that in terms of logo colors. That's like
Yeah.
surface
Yeah.
level
It's
stuff.
just what. Yeah. One part.
Yeah, you need to get to know yourself. And when you get to know yourself, you know your strengths, your weaknesses, and then you can build a brand. Like, yeah, I'm not perfect, but I'm trying, and here's what I'm good at, and here's my personality, and here's my point of view. And when you start sharing that, people who share same values are gonna be attracted, and they're gonna convert with you. So
Mm.
that's the end goal. You don't want to attract people that don't really, I wouldn't say agree with you, but don't resonate with what you're saying.
Okay. And I mean, how do you see? I mean, do you see a website in this phase or positioning in a way?
Yeah, definitely. When
Hmm.
you're doing proper branding, you need to apply that branding to every single channel. I started
Yeah.
with LinkedIn because that's my main point of attraction for clients, for business opportunities and everything. But that converts to my website. I mean, my
Hmm.
website currently just stays there as a portfolio, but I like thanks to my website, I land some speaking opportunities. I wouldn't even say that's relevant, but someone saw that I was doing Web3 work and reached out to see if I would be a keynote speaker on Web3 marketing. And I wouldn't even consider that as relevant. But
Hmm.
they went through my LinkedIn, tried to see my case studies, what I was
I checked
doing,
multiple channels.
yeah,
Yeah.
checked multiple channels, and like then landed to my DMs. And
Hmm.
I would say I'm doing it on a pretty basic level. I
Hmm.
did my website years ago, I think 2021 or 2022, and I kind of
Hmm.
just updated it. I didn't
Hmm.
do any major rebrand. I didn't do anything that I should have done, but If I
To
did
be
it,
honest, yeah.
yes, sorry.
No. You finish. I'll add up later.
Yeah, I think just it would be so much more beneficial for my other business, like my client
Hmm.
business, if I did so.
Um, I mean, to be honest, you don't really need to rebrand like every couple of years. I know there are some people on social media saying like, "Oh, you need to rebrand often." You don't really need to do that. What you need to do is keep the website updated in the terms of content. I don't know. Does your website have, for example, blog? Do you have a blog there, man? No. Yeah. I mean, adding a blog and writing a content would be very beneficial because in that case, people can find your brand online through organic search like AI and traditional search like Google and stuff. And I understand from your point of view. I mean, it is really just another channel, and there are multiple channels like social media, website, and so on, and email and stuff. In which channel you're going to focus on really depends on your branding and positioning and everything. So yes, I agree that that depends. So yeah, well, we can. I mean, people can maybe argue on this topic, but I think, like just like you said, it all depends on your. Actually, it all depends on where the target audience is. If the target audience is mostly using search, then yeah, it makes sense to invest a lot in website. If your target audience is on certain social media, it makes more sense to invest more in social media. But yeah, being present in multiple channels can just make your positioning more concrete.
Yeah,
What
definitely.
do you think about it?
Yeah,
Yeah. Hmm.
definitely. I mean, website is a really powerful tool if you do your funnel right. I mean,
Hmm.
nowadays funnels can be a lot more complicated than they were like 5 years ago, but it website is definitely a powerful tool for some businesses. I would say that and won't argue with any of that. I just say I'm a bad example. Learn from my mistakes because if I did that in time, if I did that blog, if I updated my content. For example, I have a newsletter that has more than 6K subscribers. And I
Hmm.
mean, that's great. They get my
Yeah.
content, that's my own channel. But if I only took that content and put it on my blog, I could have done a loop. Like if people search those terms, they could find me through SEO, through LLMs,
Yeah.
and all that stuff. But I didn't do so. So in Serbia they
That's
say
fine.
like a shoe repairman has bad shoes always. So that's me.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, I know it's difficult to be present everywhere at the same time, especially when you're one man army in this kind of thing. And yeah, you need to choose your platform carefully. So there is, uh, yeah, that is a smart move actually. Uh, and I want to talk about this buyer psychology a little bit. And I mean, from your experience, from your perspective, uh, how can website influence this buyer psychology? For example, uh, I mean, let's take maybe example of the second example that you mentioned where website made sense. So how users subconsciously what they subconsciously look when they land on the website. I mean, do you have any information on that point?
Yeah. Well, the data says that users' attention span is really short, like really,
Mm-hmm.
really short. And compared to some other examples from my past, it's shortened in the past 5 years, like shortened a lot. And
Mm-hmm.
people don't have patience to go through your offerings. And uh, in the, I would say, like in the last 5 years, people would say, if I elaborate my offer, if I say what I can do better, how I'm better than my competitors, it would automatically means that people are going to convert on my website. And that's not true anymore because people are probably going to scroll for like 3 seconds and leave. or convert and click to some other link, to some other page,
Yeah.
if it's
Or
good.
not scroll at all.
Yeah, or just
Yeah.
bounce out. So
Yeah.
yeah, I would say like the hero section, like copy in one sentence, headline. Who are you? What are you doing? Who you can help? And if the person, the user, finds himself or herself in your copy, it's probably going to convert. Visual as well. Call to action on the top of the site. Because if you don't do hero section right, like the beginning of the site, you're probably not going to convert. A little percentage of users are going to scroll through and read everything and click your button in the end of the page. They're probably going to be in the top of the page and just click or bounce or do whatever.
The I mean, did any one of your project require like you guys to work on a website or do any parts of, I mean, invest in that kind of channel at all?
Yeah,
I mean,
definitely.
what happened in that kind of situation?
Yeah, right
I mean, just
now.
a real life example. Yeah.
Yeah, just right now. Um, for this product I'm working on, we have a multiple funnels. There's like
Mm-hmm.
a app funnel, web funnel, and those are different funnels because it's not the same user path that users are doing for the different types of funnels. And for
Mm-hmm.
the web funnel, it's definitely it's the converting point. You're either gonna sign up and become a user or you won't. So it's really important that it's easy to understand. It's really important that you get the benefit, that you can see other users' proof, that you can see how many users are already there, that you can see real life examples of people that passed their exam because of our applications and our platform. So yeah, definitely. I mean, we are building trust over there.
Okay. And uh, okay, yeah. I mean, I wanted to talk about more on this psychology level of the website. I don't know how much deep I want to go with this. Okay, maybe we can catch up on that a bit later. Um, okay, let me just see. Yeah, okay. So, I mean, you mentioned this before, but does website has the same role? I mean, I'm just going to repeat the question, but what does the website have the same role in all industries? And for example, what is the role of a website in a tech industry versus non-tech industry? Or maybe it can be B2B versus B2C, whatever you want to choose.
I'd really like to say about the industry because
Hmm.
for example, in marketing, like the first mistake you can do and the first mistake you were going to make, and that teaches like on the first marketing class, is like um, thinking from your point of view. And when I think about website as a, like, I would say mildly tech savvy person, that wouldn't be my first point of contact ever, like ever.
Okay.
But from my fiance's point of view, he's always gonna check a landing page, and he's a sales director, but from traditional industries, and I'm a marketing person from tech industry, and
It's the
that's
opposite.
yeah, that's
Yeah.
totally
Yeah.
different like
Yeah.
mindset. He's always
Yeah.
gonna check a company's website when he's
Hmm.
partnering, when he's preparing for the meeting. He's always and always gonna check landing page.
Hmm.
So I would
Hmm.
definitely say for some industries, especially more traditional ones, and of course for some products, it's really important. I would first on check social media channels and later on go to a landing page or a website to see what is going on there. Because I can like get a picture from a company how they're talking to their audience on social media, on their website, everywhere. Like if I subscribe to their newsletter, for example, if I'm preparing or doing some research, I can definitely see how their newsletter looks like, how their own channels look like and everything. So I would definitely say that user behavior is different depending on the industry. And depending on B2B and B2C, I would definitely say for B2B, it's really important, especially if you offer high ticket offers. So people need to have your branding on point across all channels. And I'm saying
Mm,
that especially for premium services.
yeah, I mean, can be important for B2C as well because especially the e-commerce and all of these things, they're pretty big, and websites play a key role. I know that, for example, this fashion brand Zara, that's very popular in Serbia, and yeah, they're closing stores. They're just transferring everything online, and it works. It works everywhere. So yeah, that's why I'm starting this. I mean, just want to challenge this thing to see how can the marketing today exist without a website because all the traffic goes through organic search, and I guess also I mean it depends on many aspects. Also, not just mindset and the background, but also age, like generational gap between Gen Z and others. Younger generations are probably more gonna buy things through social media and get informed through social media than the older, and so on. So I guess that also depends and make a and has a key role in their decision making process. Um, yeah, I mean, do you have anything to add to this?
No, I totally agree. I just completely forgot about Zara.
Yeah, like B2C. I mean, I mean, it's not just that. I mean, there is like a lot of websites where I think maybe when you look at it, maybe B2C has even higher amount of people visiting things through websites. I mean, it's just the top of my mind. Maybe I'm wrong. But yeah, maybe even more than B2B. But even for
Definitely.
B2B, like you said, some businesses that's not focused on the website at all. They just leverage everything through sales or different kinds of marketing, which makes sense. Yeah, I mean, it's understandable in their way.
Definitely
Um,
B2C is gonna have larger traffic. Definitely. And
mhm.
I mean, it's pretty obvious why, but in, I'm more focused on B2B when it comes to my client work. And I see that people underestimate the importance of website for their B2B services, especially when it's high ticket. But I would say that's really wrong because if you are selling high ticket anything, you need to focus for your channels to be pristine, like across all channels, especially your owned channels.
Can you maybe guide me through a little bit on why, for example, what would be maybe the difference if you're positioning more on certain social media than on the website? I mean, what can be an advantage of you if you're gonna position more on LinkedIn than on your website? Is there any advantage to this? I mean, probably is for you, but just wanna hear out this thing.
Yeah. For example, I have my website, I would say, for maybe five years. And I just started actively positioning myself on LinkedIn for like the past 8 months. And
Hmm.
like the number of clients that came inbound, because I'm not doing outbound ever, because I cannot focus on doing so many things. So all of my clients came inbound me. So the number of clients that came in the past 5 years compared to the last 8 months, like it, for the past 8 months, I needed to say no to some people that I would really like to work with, but I cannot.
Yeah.
I mean, either I'm gonna quit my job and like focus full time on serving clients, or either I'm gonna say no. So at this time, I'm gonna say no to some of them. But number of inquiries that came my way and number of people that wanted to work with me, they just converted through LinkedIn. But for some of them, the website was really important because it was proof of my work, my previous work. It was my portfolio. So deal, and that if someone wanted to like dig deeper in my past, in my experience, they can always convert to a website. It stays
Hmm.
there. It's up to date. I mean, kind of up to date. I updated it, I think, like 6 months ago,
So
seven maybe.
that's
So
out of date.
uh,
Yeah.
yeah, but when it comes to my portfolio, it's kind of up to date. It
Huh.
misses a
Okay.
couple of projects, but like the past 5 years is there.
Hmm.
So in terms of converting people, if someone really wants to work with me, they are gonna dig deeper. But in terms of eyeballs and traffic and reach, generally, LinkedIn did much better for me.
Do you think maybe if you invested the same amount of time on a website could get you the same amount of results?
Maybe we should try that.
Um, I mean, uh, I don't. Yeah, maybe. Yeah, I don't think so. To be honest, because could get you a lot, but still, like you said, there is like social media have way more people. It's more present, so maybe uh, works better. And also, like the people see you as you. They see your profile, people connected to you, posts, comments, all of these things. On website, they don't see that. They just see the things that you structurally and strategically prepared for them to see, but they don't see like a live thing. It's not like that. So it's kind of different. So yeah, I mean, to answer to my own question, it's probably no, the answer to that.
What are
But
some best practices when it comes to portfolio websites that you've seen?
I mean, sorry, what was the question?
What are some best practices when it comes to portfolio websites?
uh, Best practices. Well, you probably it's good to have a case study. Um, uh, Also, I mean, a lot of these things depends again on the target audience. Not every person is going to look at the same things. Some people look at numbers. Some people look at visuals. Uh, some people like to read. So really depends. Who are you targeting? Um, that depends on how you're gonna have this case study structured. But for sure, you need to have a case study. Then I would say blog would be very also important because um, it's something that keeps your website updated, like posts on social media. If you do it regularly, at least once a week, then it will be up to date, and search engines going to push your website further, especially if it's planned and strategically positioned to push certain keywords. But I don't like when people ask me something that I just go way too deep in the answering and that never ends. But I could just add like a couple more things, and that is testimonials. It's good to have. What else? Comparison tables is also a great thing. Not directly comparing a specific client, but like you versus other coaches, or you versus agencies, or you versus freelancers, and things like this. And then in that way, you can like generally compare yourself and what is your advantage. But again, I always say this: always is the you just create your persona and then position everything for that persona. That's gonna give you all the answers that you have. Not, it's always like that. And this is how we build websites anyway. And this is what makes and drives most success. Um, but
Yeah, I definitely
since
need
you are
over here.
but since you are a social media expert, I mean, not social media marketing, but you have a lot of um, uh, engagement and like good things happening on LinkedIn. What would you say from your point of view would be important for LinkedIn, for example, or maybe other social media? I don't follow you actually on other social media, just LinkedIn. So maybe you do way better on somewhere else, some other platform. I don't know.
Actually, I'm really that active only on LinkedIn.
Hmm.
Um, Instagram and other platforms are my personal, so not
Uh-huh.
really, just friends and family. Um,
Hmm.
So I would definitely say you need to know what you want to say. What is the person you're trying to build? And that stands for pretty much every platform, either for a website, for a social media, for every other channel. You need to know who you are. What do you represent, and who are you speaking to? Like, who is your
Hmm.
audience? So that's like the basic. That's pretty much the basic any marketing or website expert or anyone who did like sales or marketing would say. And later on, it's definitely about consistency. It's definitely about building your own content buckets. And now, when I'm saying it for social media, it makes so much sense for example, for a website and blog, and like optimize all that, like for SEO search or LLM search. I had I was present in a great panel like a week ago, where an amazing LinkedIn creator was saying how to build like great content engine, and how, like, if you are optimizing for LLM search, like the Reddit and LinkedIn are like the two top websites for your content to get find through LLMs. So I didn't test it yet. So I'm
Well,
not sure
yeah.
if any of my content appears over there. So you need to optimize your LinkedIn content for keywords as well, and to certain questions that your audience might ask.
Hmm.
So it's like a addition to a website.
Yeah.
Like it needs to correlate.
Yeah. So we can see the pattern because it's kind of same approach. You still need to do the same things. You still need to talk about the same things. I see often that people on social media comment on things that is not related to their business, especially LinkedIn, which in my experience you should not ever do. I mean, if that's your business channel and if it's for your business, you should never comment or talk about things that are not related to your business. I mean, yes, you can like chill and things like this, but not like really dive deep into conversations and things like this,
You mean
unless
in
it's not
terms of
serious.
posts or like comments and engagement?
I think it's mostly about comments. It's really about posts. Some people, yes, but they probably don't consider that as their professional network. But comments, yeah, people just I think the best way you could what's the best thing you can do is just unfollow these people, or just tell LinkedIn algorithm to not show you these things anymore. Otherwise it's just going to drive you crazy and put you out of your path, from my experience. But I think it's good that you said like they need to they need to meet in the same place. They need to target the same audience, and that's how you get this most out of it. um but yeah, I don't want to force website. I mean, people don't really need. I just try to understand the importance of it for different positioning. uh yeah, I had some other question, but it just slipped out my mind. Okay, so yeah, another thing is that I want to talk about is yeah, okay, so you created some campaigns before for like landing pages. I mean, did you? In a Yeah, yeah. Okay, so
I mean,
why?
did you mean like campaigns that lead to landing page, or landing page myself? Because I did both.
Mm, huh, we can talk about both. That's that's fine. I just want to see, for example, um, did you had any campaigns that worked, but didn't convert? And what happened? I mean, do you know why that happened?
Yeah, definitely. I mean, when you are building funnel, uh, and that funnel pretty much leads to your website, and you try doing ads like across of like Meta, Google, different search engines, um, it definitely ends up with your website. And what happens on website is like it's bulletproof checking. Is your website good or not? Is it
Mm-hmm,
clear enough? Uh,
mm-hmm,
does your messaging says what it needs to say? Um, is it clear to customer? And yeah, all of the times it happens that it fails. I mean, there's like situations when you get a lot of traffic, but you get like 10 conversions, which is really bad. And when you check that conversion rate, and like if it's below, I would say 10%, 20% of your all traffic, like for at least for some download actions, it's really bad. You at least need to get it up. And then you get into what happened, where what was unclear. And then you can see some heat maps. Where do clients look, customers look, so where did they click, what happened over there. So now there are a lot more advanced tools that analyze that behavior. But yeah, pretty much any marketer launches unsuccessful campaigns all the time. We just don't talk about it very much, but it happens all the time. Because
What you do? What do you do in that situation if something like that happens? Do you tweak something out? I mean, where do you look?
yeah, how do you get like a successful campaign? Like it's the, I don't know, it's the 10th tweak of an unsuccessful campaign, because you get some hypothesis in the beginning, what's going to happen, and that doesn't happen. And then you see, my clients opted out here or there, or this happened, or this was unclear, or my funnel was broken, or
Mm.
this is leaking, or it's too complicated, or you need to see where your clients are like leaving your funnel. And that's when you see what's broken. And yeah, you definitely need to test like campaign for a couple of times before you score something good.
Um, do you guys do? I mean, what kind of tests you guys perform? Is it like a A/B test or something different, or just like a push to some small parts of audience to see how they react?
I'm not a big fan of A/B tests, and I know that's
Why?
controversial take. Yeah, because
Yeah.
in a much larger scale where you
Hmm.
test, like, you probably, when you're building funnel, you are testing creatives. You're testing if people are going to some lead magnet or to some website, or it depends
Hmm.
on the design of whole funnel itself. And if you test just a button on your website, like, is it like this big or this big, or I mean, it matters on a large
Mm.
scale. If you get a million users on your website, it definitely has some point. But if you are testing on a much smaller scale, I would say fix bigger things first. And then when you get your campaign to be at least a good amount of successful, then you can tweak it like further to A/B tests and test smaller things. I don't know if that makes sense.
But you can A/B test pretty much everything. I mean, you can test the whole page. You can test sections, button text. I mean, the reason why I personally don't always prefer A/B test is because you're focusing on one part of the page, uh, and you don't really know if that is the problem because maybe something else is the problem. I mean, but again, in that case, you would need to look through the heat maps and screen recordings and see what is the problem, and then test that. But I'm in generally, I mean, what kind of test actually you prefer to do in this kind of situations?
I wouldn't go that deep because, like, it's not my expertise. I'm more designing funnels and like the strategy
Hmm.
itself. And then
Uh-huh.
later there are people in the team that are doing like specific things, specific tweaks. So I wouldn't say I'm an expert on this matter, because there are people that have the job to optimize like buttons and like smaller things when it comes to optimizing website, to optimizing every other stuff like creatives and anything. But when I'm designing funnels, the most important thing that I'm looking for is where is the leak. Like, the leak can be like in a bad creative. like on the top of the funnel when you are just attracting people. They just see your ad and it's really bad, and they just look at it, and like the impressions are really high, but no one's converting. So you have problem there. And there can be a situation where like you have great creatives and people are diving in a bit deeper, and you have a bad lead magnet, for example, and they opt out there, and there's a leak. So you need to
Mm.
fix that leak. And like the next step would be they come to your web page and they leak there. They don't like your page, or it's not clear, or you don't show your pricing or anything. For example, for B2C products. So I wouldn't say I'm an expert on A/B tests when it comes to like different parts of the website. Um, is your button this big? Is this text better than this one? I'm not doing that. But yeah, I'm not. But some people in my team are doing that, and they are optimizing. And if you have a huge traffic and you optimize a button, you're going to see a significant difference. But my job over here is to like get a strategy and then later on like see where the leaks are.
Um, is it true that marketing teams sometimes blame channels instead of the strategy or foundation, or however you're gonna call it?
Um, in marketing teams, blame is everywhere. So
Yeah.
um, pretty much there can be a problem anywhere, but in terms of leaks, the leak can happen anywhere. But the sooner you get the leak and you see, people are like canceling their journey right here, the faster
Mhm.
you're gonna get to a successful campaign. Because we are starting campaigns over and over again, like all the time. And later on you can see what performed well. And those tests happen all the time. And then you can see this was good and this was not.
Okay. I want to talk about AI now because as we know, AI is in a central part of all of our lives in the last couple of years. Probably it's going to be in the next couple of years until something new come up. Uh, and from all of your knowledge and experience with all of this, how how people are searching today differently than they did before? What kind of differences you're seeing in their search?
Yeah, well, people are the things people used to ask Google, they are now asking ChatGPT. And my my biggest wake up call was this winter. I was on a trip with my friends, and I've seen my friend ask ChatGPT for pretty much anything.
Yeah,
He
yeah.
was like, "What you can see in Venice? Um, how cold it needs to be for my cars froze." I mean, that's a stupid question, but it was a gas
Yeah,
thing. But
yeah.
he asked ChatGPT for pretty much anything. Is the gas station open at the moment? Is the grocery store opened? And I was like, you have Google. But then I realized, and he's a pretty tech savvy guy. He just chatted with his ChatGPT in the voice mode on his phone, and he
Yeah.
just got instant answers. So if you are doing a good job, which I'm not, with your website and your LinkedIn and Reddit, and that's why you need multiple channels and you cannot focus only on one, and your content gets searched. And when someone asks who builds the best websites in Serbia, like probably someone is going to pop out over here. And if you are doing a good job, it's going to be you.
Works. Yeah. No, I'm kidding. But you're doing a great job with LinkedIn, to be honest. And yeah, I remember what I wanted to say a couple moments ago. You asked like, you're not sure if Reddit and LinkedIn content is getting search traffic through Google and stuff. Um, Reddit, yes, for sure. Well, Instagram as well. So Instagram posts can be searched. But LinkedIn, I don't really know. I'm not sure. I think I heard something about this, but I'm not sure. But for example, one of the things that we are saying to our clients is that beside building a website, you also need to be active everywhere that you can, everywhere where your audience is. And it's also very good to be active from time to time on Reddit. Now, take that with a grain of salt because the Reddit is a very toxic community, at least from my experience. But the thing with Reddit is whatever you post there, it stays there. You cannot delete it. It just stays there. And that's, I think, the reason why Google and AI is taking all of the answers. I mean, not all, like a lot of answers from there. Um, but yeah, now back to this kind of topic. Yeah, I mean, I understand what you mean. People are using ChatGPT mostly. Nowadays, they are starting to use Claude and other AI tools. But I don't think we can hate people for using it. I mean, I'm not saying you do, but I know that some people are. Uh, Instead, we should just adapt to it and try to leverage from that, meaning that we optimize our content, website or social media, that can be searchable across AI. So I know the tricks for website. Do you have any tricks for LinkedIn that maybe something that you know that can help with AI search of your posts?
To content being searchable, I haven't tried it yet, to be honest.
Mm-hmm.
It wasn't my intention at all, but last week I heard it in a panel, and I was like, yeah, that's really smart. I should definitely be doing that because I'm already active there and I need to build a closed loop because, as
Yeah,
you said, like Reddit is number one when it
yeah,
comes to data that is fed to LLMs, and the LinkedIn
yeah.
is second. And later on, there is, of course, Google and different sites, media sites,
And
Instagram,
there's
and
also
everything.
Quora and yeah, some other
Yeah, 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 yeah,
websites.
yeah, yeah, yeah. I'm not really big on Reddit. I'm not really active. I mean, I have it, but I haven't done much over there.
Yeah,
But when it
do
comes
it
to
wisely.
okay,
Yeah,
now I know you can delete stuff.
yeah, yeah, yeah. You
Um,
cannot.
yeah, but I'm also
Yeah.
not deleting stuff from LinkedIn uh, or from all over the internet. So maybe I should, but I'm not doing it.
No, I'm just saying, like, in case you don't know something, sometimes people write a comment and they later think like, okay, maybe I shouldn't write that. Maybe I should change it or write something else or not comment at all. But yeah, you cannot do that here. Um,
Be careful with my digital footprint. So
that's
I don't
smart.
know.
Yeah.
Um, and when it comes to using AI for LinkedIn content, I'm definitely using it, and that's not a secret. And
Mm-hmm.
whenever I'm having a panel or discussion or anything, I'm recommending like the tools I'm using at the moment. So yes, now at the moment I'm using Claude.
Mm-hmm.
Before that, I use Perplexity, and before that, I use ChatGPT. And
Mm-hmm.
for writing, Claude is definitely the most
Yeah, it's
powerful
the
right
best.
now. Yeah,
Yeah,
it
yeah.
can't
From my
compare
experience, so
to to
yeah,
Perplexity or to ChatGPT.
it's
ChatGPT,
most natural.
yeah,
Yeah.
and you can definitely build a much larger context than on ChatGPT or
Mm.
Perplexity. And I'm really heavy on AI because my PhD work is about implementing
AI.
AI, yeah, in
Oh,
marketing
nice,
teams. So I'm
nice.
really heavy on testing every single model that comes out. Bless you. Um, so
um.
yeah, definitely Claude is the best right now as like
Mhm.
in February of 2026.
Um, yeah, ChatGPT is great, but it really frustrates me when you wanna write something because it constantly repeats the same things and like everything cuts into small sentences and bullet points. Like it's just pushing that. Even if you told it to not do that, it's still doing that. So it's very frustrating for writing. I agree, Claude is just the best. Um, and since we know that people are using AI a lot. Um, do you think that people are now coming to your content, even if they find it through AI, through any kind of search, but for example, AI, your LinkedIn posts or website, do you think they're coming with arriving with a stronger opinions, or already uh, have some knowledge about or ideas of what they're gonna do than what they had before when the AI was not a thing?
I'm sorry, I lost it. Can you repeat it,
Yeah,
please?
yeah, no problem. So because nowadays people are using AI a lot to search, and always pops up like a post from a social media or a link to a website. Do you think that people that are coming to that positions like website or social media through AI search, do you think they are coming with a stronger opinions and already uh, pre-created knowledge about something uh, than what they used to have when the AI was not a thing, when they were just using Google or things like this?
Say it definitely depends because I I have never optimized my content for search in any way. uh, People are coming to my content mostly through their feed, and like the second biggest channel is through my profile. So
Hmm.
I wouldn't say my content is really optimized, so people are coming with strong opinions or anything. But I've tried it to search myself through Perplexity, and when you search my name, there's a really comprehensive, like, a list of what I'm doing, what are my best posts, where am I standing in terms of different topics. And that's really cool, but no one's going to search really my name, so I definitely need to step up my content game
Mm.
in terms of keywords, what I really want to be known for, and stuff like that. So it's pretty much the same in blog or in different kinds of content that you are distributing across different channels like LinkedIn,
Yeah.
Reddit, website. You definitely need to align your messaging across all channels.
Hmm. Yeah, yeah, yeah. I mean, it makes sense. I mean, I don't know how much, because I mean, even if you're not optimizing your content, I think if people search relevant topics, you can still be recommended. If your post was, uh, had a lot of reactions, a lot of visibility, so you're still very likely for AI to recommend you. Doing things that AI like is just making sure that this happens more often. Doesn't mean that the if you don't optimize, you're never going to show up. It's just not going to show up as often as someone that optimize for that will. Um, yeah. Okay. Uh, well, yeah. I mean, I had some. I'm just trying to think of. Oh, I mean, because the topic here is about websites, and I know that is not your strongest point. I was just trying to. The reason, guys, we're having this conversation, is just to see how different people are thinking regarding different things, and actually, like I said, to challenge the website and see uh, if it makes sense. I mean, you tell me in the end, but but yeah, after all of this, would you now consider having, I mean, investing in your website? Not meaning, not in a way that you pay for someone, but at least like you yourself, like trying to. Do you still think? I mean, overall, would you invest more in a website, or you don't think that's something you would do?
Honestly, I'm not really
Hmm.
sure because cost and benefit of perhaps LinkedIn brought so much more to me. And in terms
Hmm.
of website, maybe I just didn't do it right. I tried doing it for years. I mean, optimizing it, la la la. I never started a blog. I should have. I mean, I have so much content that can be turned into blogs.
Yeah.
I already
Yeah.
have some newsletters. I already have
Hmm.
I already have blogs in different
And
places.
sorry to interrupt you. How do you do these newsletters? Is that through LinkedIn or some other platform?
Yeah,
LinkedIn.
it's through LinkedIn. Yeah, so
Hmm.
I already have content. I just need to put it on website and like
Yeah.
at least let it live there.
Mhm.
It's somewhere else already, but I can boost my website. But maybe if someone, I, I don't know, if it's gonna be me, but if someone helped, maybe after
Mhm.
this call we should be discussing a
Yeah.
collaboration. But
Yeah. Yeah. Uh, no, no. I was just thinking, like, in a way that if it does it make sense for you to have it, nothing else.
yeah, it makes sense to have it. But in terms of how hard is it for me versus the
Mhm.
benefit, it's much harder to like optimize it. And I did it through Wix. I did
Mhm.
through Wix, and it's really heavy. When I need to edit it, I really need to go there to put it in an editor, and then everything scrambles afterwards. So I need to like mm, put
Yeah.
everything like in place for
I
the
mean,
next 2 hours.
Wix is a good platform if you choose a template and work with it, especially for blogs. Shouldn't be a lot of distractions or difficult to manage, but I understand if you're not a website person, so maybe it can be difficult to do.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I mean, whenever I optimize my website and add something new, even just a section between two
Mm-hmm.
sections, it's pretty intuitive. I mean, I'm
Mm-hmm.
not really
Mm-hmm.
that strong in websites, but
Mm-hmm.
I can add a section. But
Mm-hmm.
something messes up. I like publish it, and then something messes up on my phone. Then I try fixing that. Then something messes up on my desktop, and I'm like, the hell
Like
with
just
this.
yeah, no, just a quick advice. Whatever, if you go with Wix and if you choose a template, just don't change the design. Just change text and images. Yeah.
I do it all the
Otherwise,
time. That's the problem.
yeah, yeah. Otherwise, it just drags you into this endless loop of constantly changing things because then you don't know what went wrong, what you need to change. So yeah, advice: if you go with templates, just change text and images. Do not touch anything else. Otherwise, it's just. I mean, you can delete sections, you can delete pages. That's fine, but don't try to change design. Otherwise, you will have a problem.
Yeah, I do have a problem.
Yeah.
And yeah, well, thanks for saying it, but I think it's
Yeah.
5 years later. But
Yeah, yeah, yeah. But just yeah, so you know in the future. I mean, I know that website. Even if I know that some people sometimes think that they really need team or like a team of people or like a hugely professional website. You don't really need that every single time. Sometimes, I mean, many times it makes sense for you to build it on your own. Just try to use a simple platform like Wix or Squarespace that are for that and just change a couple of things and you have a website that is live, that has your content. You have something running, up and running for your business. Makes sense to invest if you leverage from website. If you don't, then obviously, like you said, doesn't make sense to invest. But I understand that it's not it's not for every business decision. It's not for every business to have a website. Sometimes people go with other things. Okay, we are getting close to the end, and it was a lovely conversation. So I wanna ask you, do you have anything like a final thought or something to share with the people regarding marketing?
yeah, well, marketing is a never-ending topic, so there's a lot, but this conversation would last for days. But
Yeah.
when it comes to websites, this conversation was definitely food for my thought. Because yeah, maybe I should do it better. Maybe I should do more of it, and maybe I should just hire a professional because I'm really heavy on doing things myself, and maybe sometimes I just don't need to. Even though
Yeah. Okay.
I can, but sometimes I don't need to.
Yeah. Yeah. No. No. Doesn't need to doesn't need to be you or personally, but maybe like uh your business or clients or other other people.
Yeah, definitely. A website can be definitely a big tool. And I can't wait for this official part to end so we can discuss it further, because maybe I just didn't do it right.
Okay. Okay. So any last message you can also say people where you can hear more of you, find you online and things like this.
Me, it's definitely my LinkedIn. It's Milica Balaban. So if you search it, it's probably gonna pop out. And yeah, thank you so much for having me.
No problem. Thank you for being part of this chat. And thank you guys for sticking with us to the end. Let me know what you think and see you next time.